Hello, you. It's me. Sorry, I had a cough drop in my mouth. Had to take that one out. Um, it occurred to me just suddenly out of the blue, and I'm sure it's occurred to you already. I'm slow on the upkeep for this one, or the uptake for this one. Um, Amberlynn is an addict. Did you realize that? And I don't mean with food. I mean obviously with food. But she is an addict through and through. She drinks all the time. I mean, I've heard in her videos she says, "Oh, I haven't had a drink in like almost 6 days." Okay. And her taking the what are the little gummies or the vape of the, I forget what you call it. It's like a marijuana variant. I forget what you call it. Something 8. Anyway, so she's essentially smoking pot all the time, drinking all the time, and eating all the time. She's an addict. And it reminds me of an addict that I used to know. She was a neighbor. She lived in the same building as I did at the time. I had a small child at the time. She had a small child at the time who thankfully was taken away. But she was a drug addict, and she told me that she was a drug addict. But her story was that she had been sober for 3 months. And I was like, oh, that's really great. Congratulations. And we would talk and maybe go do something, and then she would disappear for a while. And then she would come back, and then she'd say, oh, well, I've been sober for almost 3 months now. And that was her story for years that I knew her. It was always, oh, well, I'm almost 3 months sober now. Because addicts lie. And we've seen Amber lie a lot. I didn't realize her addiction was that bad. I know that her family, there's a lot of addiction in her family. But she has always placed herself one step above the rest of her family, because she's not a drug addict and she's not an alcoholic. She's just a food addict, and that's okay because everybody has to eat to live. So it's tougher for her, it's harder for her, but it's not. And I'm not saying being a very large person isn't difficult, because I know that when I was a much larger person, getting around was hard, everything was frustrating, everything was tiring, which is why I worked to eat healthier and walk regularly in order to reduce my weight. And it took me a long time. But the difference between her and I is that I did it. She hasn't done it yet. And this new thing of Ozempic, it's not going to last. It just won't. It's not going to last because, and this was something interesting that I heard from another YouTuber. I can't remember who it was. I apologize for that because I try to keep up with those things. It might have been Alex's Shook. I'm not sure. But somebody had mentioned that when you eat to excess, when you're on Ozempic, it can make you nauseous. And that's part of the process, that it kind of retrains your body to not eat so much so that you don't get nauseous. And I thought that was very interesting, because if you've watched her videos for any length of time, you know that she always binges at night. She'll be fine during the day, and then she'll have a big binge and eat a bunch of candy and crap at night. And that's always been her MO. That's always been what she has done. So she was complaining with Ozempic that she was getting sick at night, that she's getting nauseous at night. which tells me that she's not trying. She's using Ozempic as like a, or Ozempic like drug. I know it's not exactly Ozempic, it's the generic version of it, whatever. It's still Ozempic. Um, it sounds to me like she hasn't changed her eating habits at all. She's still binging at night, and that's why she's getting nauseous at night. So there's that. Plus, she's drinking. Plus, she claims now that she hasn't had a vape in over a week or whatever it is. Bull. We know that's bull. Everything she says is bull because she's an addict, and addicts lie constantly. So why are we listening to anything she says? I am even surprised that she's actually taking the Ozempic drug or Ozempic-like drug. I'm surprised because she hates drugs so much. But alcohol, I guess, isn't a drug, and I guess the fake marijuana isn't a drug. Come on. She's all lies. And of course, we haven't heard about Valentine in quite some time. Even Karina Kaboom said she's probably not talking to her anymore, if she was in fact talking to someone. I think Karina's right. I don't, personally, I never thought she was ever talking to anybody. I think she was talking to that one woman who had a girlfriend or wife, and they were just talking as friends, and I think she was who actually she was calling Valentine. But everything she's talked about Valentine is fake. Her life is fake. It's all just fake. Because she's an addict. And she refuses to get any help. She's not taking any kind of accountability like her mother, you know, who seems to have taken accountability for her life, at least to some degree, which I think is awesome. Who knows about her dad? I mean, one moment her dad is on his deathbed, and the next moment she's crying because she doesn't really want to talk to him anymore because he's still a drug addict. I mean, well, what is it? I mean, I guess it could be both, but she lies constantly about everything and about everyone. She is not a reliable narrator. So who knows what she's saying is real or false, because she's an addict. Everything she does is an addict, and she never stops, because they are to a lesser degree than what maybe her parents or her brother has done. But she's still an addict. She's still a shopaholic, even though her money is starting to go down. She's flashing the price of her new Ozempic-like drug because, oh, look at, I'm getting it, I'm paying for it. You know, she's an addict. She doesn't want help. She'll claim that she wants help. She says the right words, which is what addicts do. But she's a shopaholic. She's addicted to food. She is addicted to alcohol. She is addicted to marijuana type substances. How is she better? I feel resentful personally that she acts like she is better than her family, better than her mother and father, better than everybody, because her addictions are not drug related, even though they are. They're a different drug, a lesser drug maybe than most people. They're legal drugs, which is maybe different, but they're still drugs. And she's still getting a high from all of it, from the food, from the shopping, from the fake marijuana, from the alcohol. She's still getting highs off all of that. And getting highs off being superior too. That's probably more of a narcissistic quality, but yeah, she thinks that she is a step above, and she's not. And I don't know why it took me this long to realize all that, but yeah, she's an addict. She is not superior. She is not greater than. She's the same. And in most cases, I would say, at least if you would compare her to her mother, she's lower than her mother, because she hasn't gotten the help. She hasn't taken accountability for all the horrible things she's done, all the horrible things she said, and how horribly she treats herself and her body. So she's definitely not superior, and it's kind of sad. But I don't know why I only pieced it together now. I feel like I'm definitely slow on this one. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. That's all I got to say.